All right. Here we go. What? I'm not on those yet. We'll get there. I promise. All right. Look up. I know most of you know how to do the first couple, so I'm just going to talk about it real quick. All right. So please pay attention. Just stop doing what you're doing and just kind of listen to me. Stop what you're doing and listen. All right. And just to make sure. All right. 4 squared is what?
16.
The reason it is 16, though, is because it means 4 times 4. Does everybody agree? All right. Now, I'm not expecting you to know this, but eventually you'll just say 17 squared is 289. Right? Now, on your calculator, you can hit the square button on the calculator. All right? So you just type in 17, hit the square button. Everybody with me on that? And so now 9 squared is what?
81.
Okay, 9 squared is 81. Now I need your attention. All right, this is what's important. In math, if I said, what is the inverse of addition, you would say what?
Subtraction.
Subtraction. If I say, what's the opposite of subtraction, you would say?
Addition.
Addition. If I say, what's the inverse of multiplication, you would say? If I say, what's the inverse of division, you would say? Now, here is where I want you to think. So if I have a square, what's the inverse of a square?
Rectangle. Triangle.
You're thinking in terms of shapes. Thank you. What I'm talking about right now is this. That's a square. 4 squared. So what is the
negative
inverse of a square? It's called a square root. It's called a square root. So you don't, listen to me, that is what this symbol is right here. All right, that's what that symbol is. That's the square root. All right, so what is the square root of 400, guys?
20.
It is 20. Now, tell me why it is 20.
Because 20 times 20 equals 400.
Exactly correct. So basically what the square root is, it's finding the number that multiplied by itself is that number. All right? So now what's the square root of 9? 3. All right, now if you didn't know that, you would just do what? Square root. Right? On the calculator. All right, now I would like for you to try it on the calculator just to make sure you know how to use the calculator. Is everybody with me on that? So double check your work and make sure you're doing the square root properly. Is everybody good with that? All right. Now, the square root of 144, I would like for you to know is what?
12.
Is 12. That should be just something you should know. All right. But if you didn't know that, you can type it on your calculator and say the square root of 144 is what? 12. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I forgot. 4 up here. 15 squared is?
225.
Good job. 225. And then the square root of 529? 23.
Mr. Stroud, I have a question.
All right, I'm listening.
If you don't know what it is, I knew how
I know. You just type it in on the calculator.
So you do 529 and then
Square root.
I think I can. Do you put it after or before?
Well, I think on your calculator you hit the square root and you type in 529, but they're all a little bit different. Just hit clear. Type in the square root and then 529.
Is it the one that's over the
Yes, yes. Come here. Hurry up. Square root.
Oh, I need to press second. I was pressing.
All right. Now, everybody's going to, now these aren't perfect squares. There's going to be a decimal. So the square root of 20, tell me.
Is 4.47.
About 4.47.
Yeah, but I just.
And I don't want you to, we're not going to round to the nearest whole number. It's going to be like to 2 decimal places at least.
Okay, so I need to go back.
Oh, so you don't want to?
Yeah, 4.47. I don't care what the directions are. Those are not good directions.
Oh,
But we're not rounding to the whole number. We're going to
Okay.
round to decimal places.
Oh.
All right? So now, Leighton, what's the square root of 45? What does that come up on your calculator to be?
Square root of 45 is 6.708.
So we'll say like 6.71.
Yeah.
All right? Thomas, tell me what the square root of 84 is. Do you know how to use your calculator? So you hit square root button. Second button. Clear it out. Square root. Approximately 9.16. Is everybody hearing me on this? Everybody good? Hey, guys. All right, and then the square root of 58.
7.61.
About 7.61. Yes, okay. Do you agree? It's very simple. All right, very simple. All right.
She's pretty much calculated.
Mm-hmm. All right, now it says for number 13, a Coast Guard ship patrols an area of 125 square miles. The area of the ship patrol is a square. About how long is each side? All right, now this is the one that's a little bit troubling for kids. All right, so please watch. He's patrolling a square, so I would want you to just draw a square just so you can visualize what's going on. All right, he's patrolling a square, and the square is 125 square miles. Everybody agree with that? Hold on a minute.
Oh.
Now, what is the side of the square? We don't know, correct? So that's like x. So what's the formula for finding the area of a square?
What's this? Oh, to find the area of a square
What do we do?
is just base.
Base times height, but in this case, the base and height are both the same.
Yes.
So what I want you to be able to tell me is the area of a square is its side squared. You got to know that now. I'm not. That's an S. So the area of a square, make yourself a note, please. The area of a square. The formula for area of a square, you could still do length times width because they're the same, right?
Wait, what is that?
S. Yeah.
For the area.
Side of the square. It's the side of the square. So now what I'm trying to tell you is that the area is still length times width, but they're the same, right? So x times x, or s times s, means what? S squared. Is everybody hearing me? S times s is s squared. Does that everybody make sense on that? Now the reason why they're telling you that is because now they're telling you that the area is 125 and you're trying to find the side. So how do I find the side if I know the area?
You just need the square root of 100.
Yes. Now look up here. Please look. Now what I want you to do is to undo a square. To undo a square, I'm going to use what? The square root. So everybody has to do this on their paper. Everybody has to do square root and square root both sides. Just like in the past when we had addition, I had to put a what? A minus sign. Or if I had multiplication, I had to do a what? Division. Or when I had subtraction, I had to do addition. Division, multiplication.
I got 11.
All right?
Yeah,
So when you
that's
take the
That's why I said 11.
side is equal to what?
11.18.
About 11.18 miles. About 11.18 miles.
Are you okay if we round it, or do you want
No,
to?
because it's
All right, hold up, hold up.
Are you okay if we round it, or do you want to keep it like
11.18 is good.
that? Okay.
If you said 11.2, I'm okay.
Okay.
But usually it's 2 decimal places, okay?
Oh,
Now I'm going to read the question. About how long is each side? It's about what? 11.18 miles. Is everybody okay with that? You good, Bradley? Carter, you haven't said anything. You good? Leighton?
Yeah.
Thomas?
Yes.
Girls?
Yeah.
Does everybody agree it's not that hard?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so now while I finish grading the test, now listen to me. I need your eyes up here because I'm going to tell you something.
Oh, wait, we're
Shh,
just to finish the